and they're already like really flexible. My name's Corey. Welcome back to episode 4 of the guitar build. Let's bend some sides, man. Okay, since I was planning on laminating these sides, I want a final thickness of 4 millimeters. That means I need to plane these down to 2 millimeters.
It's like 1.9 or something.
And they're already like really flexible.
This fucking guy, what the hell?
While past me is bending the sides and figuring out how to use that side bending jig for the first time ever, let's talk a little bit about how wood is able to bend in the first place. So, inside plant cells, there's this complex polymer that can get deposited into the plant cells. It is called lignin. The more lignin a plant has, the more rigid it becomes. Like wood, it's got a lot of it. Lignin has this cool property where if you heat it up, it becomes malleable. And so if we take wood and we heat it up, we can then bend the wood. Makes sense, right? And there are many ways that you could bend the wood, but the way that we are doing it is using steam. And so the more steam we have, now obviously I'm not a pro at this. I've only ever done this once. 3 times. I've only ever done this 3 times in the past, and none of them with this type of setup. And so when I noticed that the first wall turned out okay, I was quite excited about it. Huh. That looks alright. Alright, first impressions is that this looks pretty good. Even though I was pretty happy with how the wall turned out, there were a couple things that were not ideal. One problem I've noticed is that this line isn't square. See that? I don't know if that gets across on camera. See that angle right there? This angle, like right here? That's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be straight across. And I also ended up getting really excited about it and decided to try to fit it into the body mold just to kind of get an idea of the direction that this guitar was going in. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next step. Do a test piece on the vacuum sealing. I don't have a vacuum press, and they're quite expensive. I don't want to spend that money if I don't have to. And so, we're going to be using these. 6 horsepower shop vac. No. Okay, it's been a day. Let's see how this did. That is not good enough. I'm willing to bet this just falls apart. Yeah, look at that. So I think the camera died like right when I took that footage because I don't know where that, it just stops. I don't know where the footage is, but that thing just fell apart, man. Like I barely started pulling on it and it just crumbled. So yeah, that's how that went. As it turns out, trying to laminate the sides, as I was then, was about as feasible as emptying the swimming pool on the Titanic with a butter knife. And so now, with all this effort that I've put into these walls, and this is a couple hours of work by this point, like a couple of days I think, why laminate the side? Because like normally in a consumer aspect, when we hear laminate sides, it typically means like plywood, right? It means that like, why would I want to buy a guitar with plywood in it? That's so... Listen. So Chris uses laminate sides. The difference between his and like a cheap manufactured guitar is that he's using 2 very good pieces of wood. I think the outside was ebony and the inside was Indian rosewood. I'm not entirely sure what he did, but either way, those are 2 excellent pieces of wood for guitar sides. And on top of that, he is all about the energy transfer between the soundboard and the walls. He wants to maintain as much structure around the soundboard so that the soundboard doesn't disperse any of its energy in a way that's wasteful. I hope that made sense. Okay, let's see if I have found a way to demonstrate this as well as Chris did. We're going to tie a bowline in it. Bowline. Then we're going to loop it around to here. Think of it this way. So when the string is soft, it's kind of like having soft sides, right? Because if there's a lot of things that can move, the energy disperses very, very quickly. It doesn't vibrate for all that long. But as you start adding tension into the system, or making it stiffer, the string is going to vibrate for a lot more. If you can make it even stiffer, that's kind of the same as having really solid walls and backs for the soundboard to sit onto. So you add energy into the system, now it's going to vibrate for a really long time. And so from there was only one thing left to do. It's gonna be better. That's gonna be much better. It has been an hour. It no longer feels warm anywhere, so I'm gonna take it out of its mold and see if it is broken. There are a couple spots I'm a little worried about. Alright, how do we do? This side does not look great, gonna be honest. So this is the part that I was a little worried about. Excuse me. The wood had been like squozen together, and so it ended up getting creased. I don't know if there's enough material there to be able to sand it out, but because this is one of the only walls I have for this guitar, I'm going to try to make that work as best as possible. So I think we will use this wall, but that is very, very unfortunate. Take a close look at this wood and tell me if you notice anything, like maybe it's a little bit mirrored. There's some symmetry to it. What we call this is a book match. And so it's when you take a piece of wood like this, you saw it right down the middle, and then you open it up. When you're doing sides, it is very important, aesthetically speaking, to have the sides line up. Okay, that took me a second, but we finally got it. You see how this grain, they all tie into each other? Like you can see the alternating grain, right? And how it has that book match element to it. That was like one of the only things I had to pay attention to. It's done. So if I just take some mineral spirits and wipe it on. Oh, it's upside down. God damn it, man.